And it goes into something else I saw on the internet. So they talked about like before it was like next time you think someone's a gay man, ask yourself, maybe he just likes white women.
I saw that and I gagged. He said that that's not what he said. He said that gay men and men who strictly like white women give off the same energy.
I was thinking
and
about that a lot.
It's hard to differentiate whether this man is gay or whether he just likes white women. And then I thought about it.
It's for real.
And I was like, holy shit, you're right.
So how hard did you think about it? Because I thought about it really hard.
I thought about it really hard, so hard that I brought it up to 2 of my other coworkers who were black women. And as soon as I said that to them, they were like,
was there any accountability though?
What type of fucking
See, that's why you
accountability
wasn't
do we have to
thinking
take
it. You
for that?
wasn't thinking it as hard as I was thinking. Because
what does
let's
that
ask,
have to do with you think that black men have to present themselves to be more masculine
yes.
when they like black
yes,
women?
I think that white women do not require the same level of masculinity performance that black women do. And it results in looking like, oh, because he didn't have to perform like that it just looks like he's gay to you.
That might be valid.
It's the truth. Y'all are toxic. Y'all have a toxic view of masculinity and then hate when a toxic brand of femininity is put on y'all.
Why do you think black women have a toxic view of masculinity?
Because that masculinity has been something that's been deprived from them, either from not growing up with a father in the home, either being assaulted or hurt by a man. Like, good masculinity is something that's been deprived from a lot of women.
Okay.
And so y'all have to put this hyper masculinity on things to make it worth y'all selves, because y'all can't just fall into a guy. Fuck him. He has to be worthy. He has to have all of these X and Y things.
Yeah, you have to trust somebody first.
It's not even about trust. You don't even trust the nigga. He has to have something. He could be a fucking sleazeball, but because he has something, he now falls into a more masculine approach because he's super tough and aggressive. Now he doesn't get locked up because he's trying to be super tough and aggressive for the women. Like, it's a poison. It's a poisonous idea. It's true though. It's true. Like, that kind of aggressiveness. Like, when you look up dudes and they get into altercation, you know, it's the one thing they thinking about. Oh, did the women see? Did the girl I like see this happen? Like, that's the first thing on a nigga's brain on some shit like that. And it stems from the idea that this black woman, and also too, a lot of black men were raised by women.
I think that it's comical that you're trying to say that toxic masculinity is something that like only.
No, it's not. I'm saying that the reason why y'all think that those men who like white women are gay is because y'all require and put a higher standard on masculinity, meaning y'all implement toxic masculinity.
Why do we not generally think that all white men are gay if that's the thing?
Y'all do. That don't act like it. Don't act like there's not a common misconception. There is a common misconception between a gay white man and a white man in general. There's gay white dudes even play gay. They touch each other's balls. They make all these jokes. They put peanut butter on each other's dicks and shit like that. And let the dog lick it. Yes, white nigga. That's called white boy humor. Have you ever heard of white boy humor?
I'm not keeping track of where.
Have you heard of white boy humor before? We'll slow it down. Have you heard of white boy humor before?
No.
So white boy humor is a brand of humor that is somewhat homoerotic. Mm-hmm. They play with each other. They touch each other's ass. They'll slap each other's balls. White guys play like that. They do play gay. So yes, that is true to what you're saying. A lot of people, when they see white guys, they won't know, is he gay or not? Mm-hmm. So yeah,
I just don't.
Y'all have the highest.
Oh my God.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say y'all have the highest quality for being masculinity for y'all.
Okay.
It's a lot to think about.
I just think it's comical that you're trying to place the blame on black women when like our examples of masculinity come from who?
Media.
The men in our lives.
But sometimes there's a lack of that. So then
like,
you don't.
It
hold
comes
on.
from the men in our lives.
Yes, but then there's a lack of that. And then you create your own identity of masculinity, and then you apply that to the men in your life. So if you have a lack.
You're saying this like it's just a regular, like it's a common thing that most black women don't have a masculine like energy or
statistically speaking
in their lives. Is that a thing still?
Statistically speaking, yeah.
I don't think that's a thing still. I'll look it up.
Fathers still home. I mean, they're a lot more involved in
I'll
lives.
look it up. You
but at home.
continue talking, and I'll
I'm
look it
just
up.
saying. And then it's just, again, I just think it's a rational. We even think it for Asian men too. Asian men go through the same thing. Unless they dress and perform like a traditional black guy, most women, especially black women, won't think that those guys are straight.
Mm-hmm.
I just think y'all just have a higher threshold of masculinity than any other group of women do. And that's why that
I don't think
conversation happened like that.
There are other women, white women, Asian women, bunch of other women who literally have specific standards for their men that are so rigid. Like, it's not just black women that are doing that. And I think it's really fucking damaging. And I'm also surprised that you think that black women have these specific standards that are too rigid or too toxic in masculinity versus other women. That's not the fucking case.
I think that is something to that. There's some credence to that conversation.
I don't think so. And I think it's concerning that you think that.
Why? When I've experienced it from multiple black women in my life and outside. I've seen it. I've literally been in places where the softer of us was treated like a fucking royalty when we went around the Caucasian women, and then he was the dork when he was hanging around the black people. To the point where he didn't even want to hang out with the black people no more. Like, I've seen those dynamics happen. Where, like, this nigga is, like, the biggest bro when he's hanging with his white friends. And they big him up. They talk all good about him, at least in front of him. Mm-hmm. And when he gets around black people, he's the joke. He's the one we always making fun of. The one we always pulling a card. Like, I've just seen that happen in our dynamics. And I think it has a large part. It's not just women in general, but I just think this conversation and it's noticed by black women because y'all have a higher ranking or grade from what it is to be masculine. That's all. Like, it even makes me think of this one girl I used to follow on Instagram. She does like what's the bodybuilding type stuff? And the dude that she's with is like a gorilla looking white guy. Mm-hmm. Like big back, big arms, all sorts of stuff. But it's like there's just a high marker for masculinity. I know you don't care about.
There's just too much numbers to read through.
Did you